Back when we did our cozy art for Christmas, Tyler drew this character and she said she wanted her to be crisscross applesauce, but she couldn't figure out how. So we're going to try out Pose apps. Back in the day, if you wanted to draw a person from an odd angle in a strange pose, you either needed a buddy to pose for you, or you'd need one of the little wooden posable figurines, or you'd just have to use your imagination. But these days, there's an app for that. Or rather, there's lots of apps for that. We checked out a couple of different ones. They're all pretty similar, where they've got the body that has the posable parts, and you can select a part like the upper arm or the lower arm or the head or the neck or the back or the parts of the leg, and you can adjust them.
This one is Make a Pose, and it's cool because you can actually pose the hand and the fingers.
So in Make a Pose, you've got this ball, and you affect the things using the ball. We also tried another app out called Skelly, and that one you click and drag the limbs themselves.
Like this?
So this is Skelly.
There's still a ball.
Yeah, but it's attached to the limb. It's kind of a little more intuitive because you're not going back and forth and back and forth. I find Skelly a lot easier to use, but Skelly costs more. Skelly has a bunch of stock poses that you can choose. Both of them, you could affect the lighting, which is awesome. And you can decide what camera angle you want. So you can set it up exactly as you need it for your art, and then light it exactly like you need for your scene or your drawing or your animation. This is me playing with changing the sizes of the body parts in Make a Pose. When you select a part of the body, it shrinks it like the whole thing consistently. You can't shorten it but keep it big around. It just shrinks it all equally. There are other apps where you can make things more or less muscular, but neither one of these ones did it. Grandma Pokey actually used PoseIt, which is an app on Android, and it seemed to work just like Make a Pose, basically. This is me trying out with multiple people in the pose. It's really handy if you need to lay out a scene or you're struggling to get a pose right for a character. Are you laughing because he was shaking his head?
No, I'm laughing because this one looks like just like a little baby and like huge leg.
Yeah, yes. Well, I made weird things. That turned out to be the favorite pastime with these things. It's a tool for when you're drawing and you need a reference, but as we found in our guild meetings, people were just basically playing with trying to make the most cursed posed image.
Like folding things in on themselves.
And a good time was had by all.
I like Make a Pose better because I just feel like there's more stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely more stuff. There's all the scenery, there's a horse. You can make each part bigger, you can change the colors. You can actually move the hands. I would love if somebody wants to comment if there's one where you can move the jaw. Here's you making a thumbs up with Make a Pose because you can actually pose the hand, and you can't in Skelly. And this is our Zoom meeting for our guild. We had 2 Zoom meetings this month, and we were playing with the pose apps. And the idea was that people could make their own poses and then draw pictures, but things got a little crazy. And like I said, people were just using them to create cursed images. This one is Daddy. He's making Angua from Discworld series. She's leaning against a wall wearing her armor. She's a medieval police officer. I really like this Kermit in the middle here. He's got some good energy. And I drew the man who forgot his underwear and the woman running after him saying, "Hey, babe, you forgot your underwear." Mason's contribution. He wanted the thing that the man forgot to be underwear.
I am drawing my security breach OC. Her name is Rainy Day, and she works in the daycare. So I just thought that chill, cute character, chill, cute pose. Perfect.
You did the crisscross applesauce that you couldn't do the last time.
Yeah.
So Rainy Day's hanging out with Sun and Moon. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think she fits right in. She's got the similar vibe from them. You guys both did crisscross applesauce, and you did the pose in Make a Pose. You made the crisscross applesauce character, and then I had you take pictures of it from 2 different angles, and you each chose a different angle, so you have slightly different poses. So what's your favorite thing about the apps?
Posing the fingers so that I can get a custom reference of a hand without having to stare at my own hand.
It's hard to draw while you're staring at your own hand, especially if you're right-handed and you need to draw a right hand. Sam's run into that. She's ended up with her thumbs on the wrong side because she was using the wrong hand as a reference. This will solve all your problems.
And then I made the colors way too saturated, but I didn't notice until after I was done with the entire thing. So I had to go back and add a white layer over the whole thing. And I also did this cool little white there.
The white outline.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then added the robot mouth.
Yep. And there she is.
She's beautiful. This is me. So we had the discussion in the guild meeting where I was drawing the man who forgot his lucky underwear and what could possibly befall him if he forgot his underwear. He was in trouble. And I decided that what would happen is he'd fall. So I'm drawing a falling man. So Tyler made a falling pose for me. Then I used that as my reference. And I am doing alcohol markers on regular copy paper. So fancy. Alcohol markers work best, I think, if you are layering them up from the lightest to the darkest. And you can use your lighter color even to create shadows. As you layer up the same color, you can create shadows. But it gives it some depth and you can get some nice undertones if you've got the lighter color underneath. And then anything that's a highlight, you can just leave it alone. I have always struggled to draw people and I've always needed a reference, and I was thinking that I would get you guys one of the really fancy posable figures nowadays that are specifically for anime and stuff, but they're super expensive and they're kind of fragile because they've got so many different joints. But the wooden ones were always a little bit limited in the kinds of poses that they could manage to do. So I was looking at the little doll things and I couldn't find any that were inexpensive but might actually survive, more than 5 poses. And then I thought, probably there's an app. And it turns out that there were several. I think it's a really good tool to have if you want to draw people. In college, you do figure drawing classes so that you understand the anatomy and you understand what's happening with a body so that when you need to draw it, if you wanted to be an animator or a cartooner, cartoonist?
Cartooner.
Those people who cartoon. No, they make comics. Comic book artists, all those people, drawn people. People drawing people. They need references.
I draw people.
Or you at least need to understand anatomy. And so this is either a reference or the more you use it, the more you'll understand anatomy. There's my guy falling from nowhere to nowhere. That's what you get if you forget your underwear.
This is me drawing my thing.
Her reference.
You put your paper over your iPad and you just traced the image straight out of Make a Pose, which is so smart.
And this is me doing the face. I followed a tutorial thing for the face.
You wanted to do an anime face. Who are you drawing?
Alex for Minecraft.
Alex from Minecraft with an anime face. This is a very, very normally proportioned person for you. You don't often draw people that have normal proportions. We have this drawing on our refrigerator and everybody says, Sam drew that? Sam drew that. Sam, 8-year-old Sam drew that? And I say, yep, she did. That's the power of a good reference. So what's your favorite thing about the apps, Sam?
I like that in Make a Pose you can pose the fingers, and that in Skelly you can make it, instead of a skeleton, you can make it kind of like in Make a Pose, except...
Yeah, the robot version. Yeah, Skelly has the 2 versions. I was so impressed with her cute little expression, and you got her outfit really nice, and her hair's super cute. I think it's a perfect mix of sort of the anime style and the Minecraft character. What do you think of it?
I really, really like it.
So what made you decide you wanted to use colored pencils for this and not use your iPad?
I don't know, I just wanted to.
Change of pace?
Mm-hmm.
I think you did a good job.
It's so beautiful. I'm so impressed. There are also apps that have musculature, so you could understand how the muscles move.
Muscles.
It makes me think of like a Sonic character.
Wait, what?
Knuckles' weird cousin. It's really buff with like
He's
a tiny
buff.
head.
He's buff and fast and has a tiny head. Sure, why not? Sure.
I don't know. That's just what comes to my mind with muscles.